Okay, guys, good morning and welcome.
Morning.
Okay, guys. Now, before we start, any questions? Nope. Good. So, chapter 14. Now, let's do it this way. And we know that, okay, this is our transducer. We had, okay, yes. We can say, okay, we had PCT. Oh, okay. Oh, God. Sorry, guys. So this was our transducer with the PCT. We can say that, okay, yes, we have different tissue boundaries. Okay. Now, if you, for instance, say, okay, this here, this was our system, okay, in which, okay, yes, we had electrical signal. Now, this electrical signal is going to pass through two components. One is going to be, okay, what we will call a pulsar. Okay. Now, I briefly mentioned, I yes, okay, talked about this component here in chapter 8, I think it was. Okay. After which we can mainly say that, okay, yes, these electrical signals here still is okay, pass through is okay, what we'll call a beamer or a beamformer. Okay. There's going to be a little thing here. And this is going to be okay, what we'll call a switch. but through which, okay, yes. Please keep in mind, guys, all these electrical signals here are passing with this. After which, okay, yes, this electrical signal gets to the transducer. Okay. Is passed through the PCG, after which it becomes sound wave. Did you guys get that? Yeah, okay. Okay. Now this here is okay because so this was our initial sound wave, which had a certain power, intensity, etc., etc. That power intensity is going to be determined by the pulse. Okay. But what we mainly as okay have been seeing is that okay, as a very small fraction of the intensity of the incident is going to be reflected back. Okay. We can mainly say, okay, this sound wave is okay, just continued with okay as a relatively, or as okay, a lesser intensity. It's another boundary. And we hopefully know yes, okay, what causes a reflection to be produced by a boundary. Okay, we can say it's okay, that sound wave is okay, just still continues ahead. And okay, yes, we can say here, produce a reflection. Did that make sense? But, where we compare, yes, okay, the intensity of our incidence waves compared to, yes, okay, to the reflections. Okay, we can mainly say, okay, that the intensity of these waves here was very, very, very much greater than, okay, the intensity of the reflections. Okay, now, of course, okay, this sound energy that reflects back to the PCT has to go via wire to the system in form of, yes, okay, electrical signals. Okay, so they will mainly, yes, okay, come back to the switch. After which and these signals, yes, okay, it was weak sound energy, so that's going to be relatively weak intensity of electrical signals. Okay, but from here, yes, okay, these weak electrical signals mainly, yes, okay, are going to be transferred over to, yes, okay, the component that we will call a receiver. Did that make sense? Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. And mainly as okay, we're going to be as okay, the 5 major functions of our receiver is going to be as okay, one of the major points that we will talk about in this chapter here today. Okay, okay. If we don't get this far today, hopefully it's okay by tomorrow. It's okay. We will start talking about it's okay the functions of the receiver. Okay. But after it's okay, the signal has been it's okay processed by the receiver, yes, okay, of course, yes, okay, they're going to be, yes, okay, other components through which, yes, okay, the signal here, yes, okay, still needs to be processed for us to, yes, okay, get the image of, yes, okay, the structure here to be scanned. Okay, so those upcoming functions, that's going to be, yes, okay, mainly chapter 15 that we will talk about how, yes, okay, these signals finally, yes, okay, are being processed to become an image. Did you guys get that? So in all this process here now, yes, okay, what your book said was, well, okay, as we had the transducer. Clear? Okay. Now, we already talked about that relatively, yes, okay, in chapter number 8, and said, okay, yes, what was the primary function of the transducer? Its primary function is okay, could mainly as okay be as okay explained, or we can as okay go by it all dependent upon where we talk about the functions of the transducer. All right, let's do it this way. Transducer, whether that was during transmission, and or whether that was during reception. Yeah, okay. Now, during transmission, what was the function of your transducer? Was mainly to convert electrical energy into, that's okay, what we can call this, okay, sound energy. Did you guys get that? Whereas during reception, what was going to be the job of our transducer was mainly as okay to convert, okay, yes, the sound energy. Okay, so we can avoid, okay, that's going to be the sound energy that we got from the reflections. Okay, that's going to be converted into electrical energy. Okay, but what we mainly can say is that, okay, yes, at each boundary, provided that, okay, that we had a reflection. Okay, okay, provided that we had a reflection at that boundary. Okay, but what we for sure you can say is that, okay, yes, that the transmitted energy and just so is because okay, transmitted sound energy, right, is always going to be greater than the reflected sound energy. Now, what we mean here by greater is going to be as okay, greater in, we can mean this as okay, that This is going to, okay, when we talk about the intensity, we talk about the power, and okay, yes, the amplitude. Okay. So similarly here, yes, okay, we are talking about, yes, okay, the intensity, the power, and the intense amplitude. Yeah, okay. And primarily, guys, because of, okay, yes, an extreme low intensity of the reflected sound waves that they have, okay, yes, such a low intensity. That's why it's okay, they have to be further processed by the receiver. Or it's okay, it's okay, at least three of the major functions that we have for the receiver is mainly it's okay going to do something with this low intensity of the deflections. Okay. Otherwise, it's okay, they would not have been displayed on the image. Okay. But in all this, it's okay. The whole purpose of our transducer mainly as okay was to convert electrical energy into sound energy, and that sound energy gets okay converted back into an electrical energy. Okay. So likewise, it's okay. Maybe say it's okay that the transmitted sound energy is always going to be greater in intensity or power or amplitude compared to the reflected energy. Likewise, can we also say that, okay, yes, that the transmitted electrical energy is going to be greater than the, is going to be much greater than the reflected electrical energy. Or received, if you want to put that way. Electrical energy. Clear? Okay. Which means that, okay, yes, energy can't produce nor destroyed, but yes, okay, just change the form. So that's what happens here. That's what happens here. We can't really, you can say it's okay, enhance the amount of energy. But here it's okay, we can just convert its form. Here the conversion is from electrical to sound, from sound to electrical. Whereas, okay, since we have more electrical energy, yes, okay, so obviously it's going to produce more sound energy. Here it's okay, less sound energy comes back. It's going to mean it's okay, just being converted into electrical energy, it's going to be, it's okay, relatively lesser sound or electrical energy, sorry. So that was primarily as okay, the function of your transducer in all this. So that's what you call a brief review of chapter number 8, right? Any questions about the function of the transducer? Okay, guys. Now, if we looked into the system, as we said, we have something that we call the pulsar. Okay. As I just said, it's okay. After the pulsar is going to be, it's okay, what we call the beamer or beam former. Of course, it's okay. This pulsar here is okay. It's going to, it's okay, receive, it's okay, electrical energy from the socket that is plugged into the wire or into the switch or electrical socket in the wall. Did that make sense? Now, guys, this pulsar here. Now, if you look at the word pulsar, just like, okay, as at the word beamer, mainly it's okay, where is going to form the pulse. But this pulsar here is okay, is going to, yes, okay, determine three major characteristics of the pulse. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay. This pulsar here is okay, it is going to determine three characteristics of the pulse. One is going to be, yes, okay, what we will call the amplitude. Now, please, guys, although it's okay, it only says, okay, your book only says amplitude, but what you also, yes, okay, can understand from this that this is going to mean, yes, okay, mean the power of the pulse, which mainly is okay, will also, yes, okay, mean the intensity of the pulse. Clear? Okay. That was one. The second is that, okay, this pulsar here is going to determine what will be your plus or pulse repetition period. What was the pulse repetition period? Does anybody recall what a pulse repetition period was?
On time plus off time.
Okay, on time plus off time. Good. That makes the pulse repetition period. Good. Okay. Is there another way that you can explain it, or anybody?
Transmit and receive.
Okay. If I give you the starting phrase, it's the time.
The time it takes from the start of one pulse to the start of the next.
Exactly, from beginning of one pulse to another pulse. Okay. Okay. So how is that determined, or where is that determined? That is determined by your pulse. Okay, the time from the beginning of one pulse to the next pulse to the next pulse to the next pulse to the next pulse, that becomes your PRP. Clear? Okay. Likewise, yes, okay. Now, when it determines the PRP, it will also, yes, okay, determine, yes, okay, your ERF or your pulse repetition frequency. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, okay. So what would that mean? That's your pulsar, yes, okay, these were the three functions related to your pulse that was determined by your pulsar. Okay, now if you look at these, because the pulsar is not going to be able to, yes, okay, think on its own. Or if it worked just the way that it wanted to, well, okay, we would have been in deep trouble. Right, okay, we would have been in deep trouble. So you can mainly say that, okay, these functions of your pulsar here, okay, still needs to be controlled. Okay, so what we mainly can say that, okay, as these two functions of your pulsar here, where that will determine your pulse repetition period, or yes, okay, your pulse repetition frequency. We mainly, yes, okay, control those by, because yes, okay, adjusting the depth. Did you guys get that? So us twisting that knob that said depth. If we, for instance, okay, increase the depth, what was that going to do? That was going to tell the pulsar, well, okay, yes, increase the time between pulse to pulse to pulse to pulse, which means you just have been, okay, as increase in the pulse repetition period. Did that make sense?
Yes.
Clear? Okay. And or yes, okay, on the other hand, inversely or reciprocally, yes, okay, decrease the pulse repetition frequency. Did you guys get that? And or on the other hand, if we, for instance, okay, decrease the depth, what that decreasing of the depth was going to do is, yes, okay, what this knob here was going to do, it was going to mean, yes, okay, send signals onto your pulsar and telling us, or telling it, well, okay, we know what? We mean, yes, okay, decrease the depth of the image. So right now, yes, okay, you need to send out pulses at a shorter interval. Or that's going to be, yes, okay, a lesser time span between pulse to pulse to pulse to pulse, which may or mean that your PRP will be decreased. And due to that, there will be a inversely and reciprocal increase in your pulse repetition frequency. Did you guys get that? Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Oh, shit, sorry. That was not what I meant to do. No, guys. Yes, electricity. Okay. Through, yes, okay, the electrical wire, yes, okay, gets to the pulsar. Now, the next thing that we said, or the next function that we said was controlled by the pulsar was going to be SOK. Now, immediately SOK just says the amplitude of the pulse. But as we know, SOK by amplitude, what that also can mean is that, okay, that's going to SOK control the intensity of the pulse, which is mainly SOK, pretty much okay related to SOK, the power of the pulse. Did that make sense? Okay, so whether you are going to have SOK as a pulse, with let's say SOK greater amplitude, or whether we are going to have a pulse with a smaller amplitude, or lesser intensity, or lesser power, that as well was okay as determined by the pulsar. Did that make sense? Okay, but please keep in mind, guys, that this is going to be SOK because, okay, where did all this energy SOK go to? This mainly SOK will go to the, so, I don't know, okay, this will mainly SOK go to the, to the transducer, where it then just was going to be SOK, the job of the transducer to convert SOK this energy, which was electrical energy, into sound energy. Yeah, okay. But, and then of course, that's okay. You can say the more energy that it will receive in form of electrical energy, the more energy is it that the transducer will transmit just in form of sound energy. Whereas, okay, if you said lesser electrical energy was received by the transducer, mainly because the pulsar reduced the amplitude of the pulse, or the intensity of the pulse, or the power of the pulse, mainly will mean that, okay, yes, we will have a lower intensity sound wave being transmitted by the transducer. Did you guys get that? Right, okay, so what is going to be is, okay, the amount of energy that the transducer will be transmitting, okay, in form of sound energy, but it's okay, which before is okay being transmitted by the transducer was electrical energy. That amount, which will determine, yes, okay, the concentration of that energy, you will recall, okay, yes, to either have a big sound wave or a small sound wave. That is going to be determined by your pulsar. And where is that controlled from? This amplitude, power, or intensity is controlled from what we call the power output. Did you guys get that? Yes, guys.
Yeah.
Right, okay, and where did we find the power output? Well, okay, that's on our keyboard console, up in that left side of the corner. Clear? Okay, so when we twist and turn that, when we twist and turn that, yes, okay, we can either increase it or decrease it. Clear? Okay. Okay. But what does that mean? Yes, okay, for instance, yes, okay, if we increase it, that's going to say, yes, okay, well, okay, I'm going to be sending out pulses with a great amplitude. Pulses of course, yes, okay, pulses of sound energy. But those pulses are going to have a great amplitude. Why? Because they have a great power. And you just, okay, a great power that's going to be as okay, a pulse with a high intensity. Whereas, okay, yes, on the other hand, we can decrease that power, which mainly going to, yes, okay, cause that, okay, yes, your pulsar is going to be sending out sound waves with a lower amplitude. Lower amplitude, yes, okay, of course, they will have lower power, they will have a lesser intensity. So mainly as okay, by your power output, that's how we as okay control the intensity of your, or the power of the amount of energy that is going to be as okay being transmitted by the transducer. Did you guys get that? So what we could say is okay was the intensity of the incidence primarily, right? Okay, what's going to be the intensity of the incidence? Where is that controlled from? That is controlled from your pulsar. Okay, but how? By us adjusting the power output. Did you guys get that?
So was like the purpose of this picture to show that the power output and the depth switch are like connected to the pulsar, which is what creates basically what we already learned?
Pretty much, yeah. Even if you don't get the picture, as long as you, it's okay, understand this. Okay, as long as you understand that, okay, yes, your functions of your pulsar was mainly to, yes, okay, determine your pulse repetition period, and by doing so, it inversely and reciprocally sets your pulse repetition frequency. Okay, so PRP and PRF mainly, yes, okay, just walks in hand to hand, just in opposite directions. Okay, one wants to go and increase, then the other one wants to go and decrease equally. Okay. Okay. And the power or intensity or amplitude of your pulse also was determined by your pulsar. Okay. But how do we control these? Well, okay, as your PRP and PRF, they were both controlled by your depth. Does that make sense? Okay, so you can say, as okay, as I said in the picture or road, that if you increase the depth, what will that do? Well, okay, we see the depth of our image increasing on the picture on the scanning. Okay, but maybe it's okay to cause that. Okay, that increase of depth doesn't cause or create chaos in the machinery. That's why, okay, yes, the machine, you also get a message that say, well, okay, well, here it's okay, they want you, it's okay, get a deeper view of field. So what you need to do, Mr. Pulsar, is you need to increase the time between pulse to pulse to pulse to pulse. Because now each pulse that is traveling has to get a longer time to go and come back. So that's how it's okay, you increase the pulse repetition free period. And as that increases, well, okay, inversely and reciprocally, as okay, your pulse repetition frequency will decrease. Did you get that, my dear?
Yes.
Good. Okay. The other thing is that your pulsar also get messages from another knob, another function that we are able to adjust, mainly because, okay, that's going to be, okay, the main component that will mainly as, okay, determine that, control that, but not on its own, mainly as, okay, based on what we want it to do. Okay, please think, guys, these are electric components. They don't have a brain of their own. They don't know what's going on in your head or what you want to achieve. They just know as, okay, how to follow the orders. Now, your order may be as, okay, increase the power or increase the amplitude or increase the intensity of the pulse. That eventually as, okay, is going to be as, okay, transmitted by the transducer into the patient, right? Okay, which will just be as, okay, a great amount of sound energy. So what is it that the pulsar will do? Yes, okay, it determines that output power. That's going to go from the system to the transducer, from transducer to patient. And eventually that's, okay, hit boundaries and produce reflections. Did you guys get that? So as far as your PRP is concerned, as far as your depth, PRF is concerned, okay, that is, yes, okay, it is determined by the system. Well, which component of the system? Not the transducer, but rather the pulsar. Did you guys get that? What is going to be the amount of energy that each pulse is going to be carrying? That becomes, yes, okay, the power, which is directly proportional to the intensity, which is going to be directly proportional to the amplitude. That is also going to be controlled by the pulsar. Okay, that, okay, I'm going to send out a pulse with great amount of energy, lesser amount of energy. Okay, but how is it that we control that? Is by adjusting our power output. Did you guys get that? Okay, guys. Now, two things. But is there anybody who is in any doubt about this?
No.
And that's okay. Now, I may ask a question. And my question is, okay, what determines the pulse duration. And or your spatial pulse length.
Do you mean like the medium and the source, like that kind of answer?
Something like that, yes. Well, let's just take this out because you get confused. Okay.
Is that your damping element?
What did you say, Kristen?
Is that your damping element determines it?
Uh, well, it's more likely, my dear, your PCT. Okay. Now we can say it's okay. PCT is okay. What would that do? We could mean it's okay. In this case, okay, they will determine it's okay the number of. Oh, sorry, that will determine, sorry, the period. Yeah, of course, yes, okay, yes. The damping matter or material or is going to, it's okay, mainly determine the number of cycles per pulse. Okay, where this one here was inversely proportional to the frequency. Okay, which mainly is okay was both determined by characteristics of your PCT, which was primarily as okay the thickness of the PCT and the propagation speed of sound in PCT. Right? Or we can say it's okay, more damping material, more damping. And okay, yes. So more damping means yes, okay, will lead to lesser number of cycles. Which may cause, okay, yes, a shorter pulse duration. Did that make sense? So pulse duration and or yes, okay, when it's okay, your spatial pulse length of the transducer itself, yes, okay, was determined by these factors here, or these components. Okay. Now another thing. And mainly it's okay talking about, you can say it's okay, these two waves here. Okay, so let's do it this way, guys. Now it's not going to be that we have two different transducers, but just because we end up with it's okay, two different intensities. But we can say it's okay, we had the pulse rate, okay? Okay. For instance, okay, if this pulse is okay, then we can say, okay, this is our power output. The remaining can say, okay, that this power output here mainly is going to, yes, okay, control your pulsar and will lead to, you can see it's okay, the amplitude. Okay, what's this? The amplitude of your pulse. Yeah, okay, yes, we can all say that, okay, yes, this here is a great amplitude pulse, which means to me that, okay, how do we get that? By increasing the power output. And we can see that this one here is okay, is a low amplitude pulse. Mainly it's okay by decreasing the power. Did you guys get that? Okay. Of course, that's okay. When these sound waves here, it's okay. We can say it's okay. Hit the transducer. Wait, okay, yes. The PCT is okay. What we have here is going to be, is okay. A great amplitude sound wave. Where this is going to be a low amplitude sound wave. Did you guys get that? Now let us just put it this way, guys, that okay, as both these sound waves here is okay. It's a similar tissue. Now, since this is a similar tissue, well, okay, they're going to have just okay, there's that's okay. Intensity reflection coefficient of this tissue here is going to be equal to the intensity reflection coefficient of this because it's the same tissue. It's just hit by two waves of different intensities. But what we mainly can say is that, okay, yes, or let's put it this way, let's say this was okay as a great intensity. So we can say, okay, this was, for instance, okay, 100 watts per centimeter square. This one here was okay as a low one, we can say it's okay, just 10 watts per centimeter square. If we, for instance, say that, okay, yes, not then it's the similar tissue, let's just say that, okay, yes, the inflection intensity coefficient is 1%. All that means that the intensity of the reflection here is going to be 10% of 100 watts, which is going to be that we then have, okay, as 10 watts per centimeter square being reflected back. Did you guys get that? Whereas In this case, yes, okay, 10% of, or 1% of 10 is going to be, in it, we have a intensity of reflection, which is going to be 0.1 watt per centimeter square. Did you guys get that? Maybe again, yes, okay, I can see that, okay, yes. This is a strong reflection. And this one here is okay, was a weak reflection. Did that make sense? Yes,
Yeah.
guys,
Yes.
good. And what we mainly, yes, okay, can see based on that is that this reflection here is okay, all that was from the same tissue. But this is going to appear bright on the screen. Or we can say, it's okay, that the brightness is going to be greater. Whereas over here is okay, or brightness is going to be lesser. Did you guys get that? That is one of the outcomes of, yes, okay, playing around with your power output. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So just as I said, the more energy is okay a tissue is going to be hit with, the amount of energy that will reflect back is going to be greater compared to, it's okay, if that same tissue is hit by a lower intensity sound wave, the amount of energy that it will reflect back is going to be lesser. Did you guys get that? Yeah, okay. So, but in all this, whether it was this energy here is okay determined by the pulsar, which eventually is okay, just becomes this energy here. Or it's okay, just change it into the form of sound energy. But as far as, okay, as its amplitude is concerned, yes, okay, that was controlled by the power output, which was mainly as, okay, regulating your pulsar. Okay. But the amplitude of this energy produced by the pulsar is going to be equal to the amplitude of the energy produced by the transducer. It just changed form from electrical to sound. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Good. So amount of energy that is going to be transmitted by your transducer is controlled by the pulsar, which is controlled by your power output. And that's why I don't know. We can mainly say, okay, this energy here is okay. It goes under a whole bunch of different names, of which mainly is controlled by your pulsar. And you'll find all those names on page 218. Under synonyms. Did that make sense? Okay. But what we mean is, call it to begin with was, yes, transducer output, which is controlled by your power output, which controls the pulsar output. So that's why you may see terms such as output gain, acoustic power, pulsar power, energy output. Whether you call that energy, it's okay. Power, whether you call that energy, it's okay in terms of intensity. Clear? Okay. Transmitter output. Because what is that your transducer does? It transmits the sound, right? Okay. Power or gain. Okay. Now, please do not concentrate a lot on the word gain, because that's a term that is going to be used later on into the context of another function of our system. Yeah, okay. But just put it this way. If I was the pulsar and any of you were the transducers, clear? Okay. What will be your job? Let's say that, yes, me being the pulsar, send out $100 bill to the transducer. Anybody wants to be the transducer?
Sure.
Good. So I give Caitlin $100 bill. What's the worth of that $100 bill? Well, okay, $100, right? Clear? Okay. Okay. Now, what's going to be the job of the transducer? Mainly, it's okay, just convert that $100 bill into another currency form. Okay. She may change that into, yes, okay, $10 bills, $5 bills, dollar bills, quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies. But Caitlin, sorry, my dear, you can't keep any of the money. You get $100, you're just going to okay, transmit that into another currency form. Let's say that, okay, as you send your signal out as in $10 bills, but you still have to send out $10, right? Okay. Okay. Did that make sense? Okay. Well, okay, if I give you, it's okay, $1,000. Your job as the transducer would just be as okay to transmit that, pass that $1,000 out. You may say, well, okay, I'm not going to just okay be using $1,000 bill here. I'm going to just okay be sending that out in nickels. Have fun counting those. That's not my headache. That's your job. Okay. Okay. But me as a pulsar, that's okay. Where do I get that? Okay, I need to send out $100 or $1,000. That's going to be from the power butt or power output knob. And that could be Kristen. He's the power output knob. But that's okay. He can't decide on his own because that's going to be, it's okay, Jennifer who will twist him or him around. So all what Jennifer tells us, which is a sonographer here, will be conveyed on to Kristen. Kristen, I receive it. Yes, okay. I send that stronger or that weaker signal out. And it's going to be, yes, okay, your job to mainly send that signal amount of energy out, just in a different form. Did you guys get that? So whatever name you call it, output gain, acoustic power, pulsar power, energy output, transducer output, transmitter output, power or gain, are all controlled by your power output or adjusted by power output. Okay, but where is those control signals going to? To the pulsar, from the pulsar, transmitted onto the image. Or it's okay to the tissue. Okay. Where we know from chapter number 6 that is okay, different tissues have yes, okay, different intensity reflection coefficients. Just to just okay, treat it equally, right? Okay. Or back harmony is okay factor. But of course, okay, a tissue hit by a stronger signal. Okay, and the same tissue hit by a weaker signal is going to, yes, okay, reflect a certain percentage of that energy that it is hit by back. That becomes your intrinsic reflection coefficient. Yeah, okay. Or where we can also talk about that is okay, that is going to, yes, okay, have a certain, that reflection is going to have a certain intensity. That just becomes the intensity of the reflection. Yes, guys. Are the pieces of the puzzle falling in place? Okay. That's pretty much okay as how it works. Okay, guys. No, another thing, all this, okay, this is going to, yes, okay, be brought up later in this chapter here. But we can say it's okay, as far as, okay, as the, amplitude of our sound, of our electrical energy, leads to to the amplitude of sound energy. Sound energy. Where we said, okay, we had great. And on the other hand, because it's okay, we had low. We see it's okay when this, for instance, okay. It's similar tissues. One thing that we got was, we got a reflection and reflection. But here is okay, the amplitude of our reflection was going to be greater. Where here is okay, the amplitude of our reflection was going to be weaker. Due to this will have a greater brightness. So it's okay, here we have a greater brightness of image. And here we have lower brightness. When we mean brightness, as we can see, of image. Another thing that occurs, these two, intensity sound waves here, may also lead to is, I'm almost running out of code. Thermal index. That's not okay. Which in this case, I mean, what would that mean? That we actually, we have greater thermal index, and we can say, a lower thermal index, where this will lead to here, greater likelihood of bioeffects, where over here, and lesser likelihood of bioeffects. Okay, bioeffect is just another phrase or another term for your biologic effects. Did you guys get that? Okay, guys, can some of you produce some noise, please?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, this is wanted noise, or this is wanted sound. Okay. Now, please, just okay. Take your sweet time. Take your sweet time. Yes, okay. Read on these couple of pages here. Don't worry that much about page 216 because, okay, this means okay, we can say okay, just a list of okay as components and it's okay, different functions that we'll be talking about. Clear, okay. But it's okay, guys. When we come back, we will talk about pulse. No, sorry, noise. And we will talk a bit about ratios. Now, if you don't recall your ratio, what ratio means, did they ever told you in school how to, yes, okay, determine ratios between things? I hope they did. No?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see about that. Okay. Let's see about that. No, it's not that complicated, my dear. Okay, don't go that quick. Damn it, Michael is to give us okay, bombard of his crazy fractions and decimals and this and that and so on and so on. No, not really. Straightforward numbers, okay? Okay. So good. And but on top of that is okay, what is our wanted ratio? So I see you guys back, should we say 10:45? Okay, please read on the material. Okay, you can make your coffee, so and so, but please read on the material that we have done. And okay, as when we come back, we can talk about it. Okay, nuisance, which is going to be noise. Okay, guys. 10:45. Oh, shit. Welcome back. Now, sorry, before I continue, does anybody want to read a question? Nope.
No.
Yes. Yes. No. Okay. Good. Okay, guys. So you guys go down your pulsar. Pulsar output, transducer output, transducer output, power output, power output is okay amount of sound wave being transmitted to the patient. And we're going to get back to these things here later on. Let's just try to look at what you guys don't produce, which is noise. Let's just say, okay, what in the blue is noise. No, just to mainly as okay. Simply as okay. Say now noise that's going to be as okay mainly be in our case as okay unwanted sound. Clear? Okay. So any unwanted sound that is going to be produced in ultrasound is okay. We will call that noise. Now the question arises, why is it unwanted? Mainly because we can say it's okay, it actually is okay. Pollutes the image. Or by it's okay, polluting the image, what that mainly will mean is that it reduces the visibility. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay. And if it reduces the visibility, yes, okay, what is that going to cause? It mainly is okay, is going to, yes, okay, make us unable to visualize the structures that we scan. Another thing about noise is, okay, not only is it unwanted, it's going to be as okay, continuous, or we can say as okay, actually it's okay, persistent. Sounds. Okay. That continuously or persistently is going to, yes, okay, reduce the visibility of our image. And by doing so, yes, okay, make our, yes, okay, because that's okay, visualability or that's okay, visualability of our image continuously as okay, reduced. Now, guys, another thing, and okay, yes, this is going to become handy in later on in this chapter here, that this noise here is not what most people will think of as okay when they talk about, when they think of noise. But mainly as okay, it's going to be low intensity sound waves. Did that make sense? Okay. So this noise, which is going to be as okay, unwanted persistent sound that pollutes or contaminates our image. And by doing so, actually, it's okay, reduces the visibility. Actually, is going to be as okay, low intensity sounds. Now, guys, have you ever experienced let's just talk in terms of sound. Sound that can be audible, that you be able to hear with your eye, not yeah, sorry, your ears. Sorry. Okay. And you was this, and okay, well, this is bothering me. You want to go to sleep. Clear? You want to go to sleep. Now here we don't talk about it's okay necessarily it's okay that you were neighbor is having, yes, okay, a weekend party, and okay, yes, his or her speakers are blasting. Of course, yes, okay, that will be a noise. Okay, by here, yes, okay, just a small buzzing sound. Or let's say, yes, okay, the crickets or the frogs. Okay? Or even, yes, okay, a mosquito. Just okay, coming and dancing around your ear. And you may be wondering why in the blue are of just okay, my big body, which maybe is okay, 6 feet 3 inches, 5 inches, or 5 feet 4, or whatsoever. How in the blue is it that the mosquito specifically as okay had to buzz around my ear? Couldn't he just go to the toes or it's okay anywhere else? Okay. But that's not a loud sound, but it's okay, what is it? It's still a low sound, but since it's a continuous, okay, and well, okay, you don't want that at this time here because it's time for you to go to sleep. You want to get some rest. After a long day of, yes, okay, listen to another unwanted sound of your doctor, instructor talking about sound waves, right? Okay. So, did that make sense? So, yes, okay, here you can say, okay, a low intensity sound wave, yes, okay, can still be considered noise. Did you guys get that? So please, guys, here, noise doesn't necessarily have to be blasting loudspeakers. Now, guys, you may ask, okay, how is it that noise will appear on an image? Right, okay. Okay, let's say, yes, okay, you are scanning, yes, okay, the structure of the abdomen. Let's say, okay, you want to get a clear view of the kidney, for instance, right? Okay. Let's look at this. So what did we say? Yes, okay, that we wanted to scan the kidney. Yes, okay, of course. Well, okay, yes. This is your screen. You can see it's okay. This is our, it's okay, sector shape or our image. And okay, yes, in all this, yes, okay. This, yes, okay, is your kidney. Clear, okay. But when I say that, okay, yes, it contaminates your image. And mainly, yes, okay, what that contamination is going to do is going to, yes, okay, reduce the visibility. So what your noise actually is going to be yes, okay, a lot of small that's okay. Bright dots throughout your image. Yeah, okay. But again, yes, okay, and all this you can say, yes, okay, this was the outline of our structure. We could have, okay, yes, when all this is okay, there will be, yes, okay. You can say, yes, okay, the medulla with the tubules and so on, so on. Okay, we can even say, yes, okay, we had the For instance, okay, the cortex and things like that. Okay. Well, yes, okay. A lot of this, yes, okay, was going to be that you might not be able to, yes, okay, clearly, yes, okay, see the outline of your kidney. Okay, so guy, what you mainly will see is that noise is going to, yes, okay, look like flurries of snow. Luckily, yes, okay, we are in the winter season now, right? Okay, so usually, guys, when you open, yes, okay, when you wake up in the morning, if you got some sleet inspired of, okay, as that mosquito, okay, and you pull your curtains, what is it that you most likely want to see? A clear view, right? Nice blue sky, sun shining, things like that. Okay, that's going to, yes, okay. Ah, yes, okay, beautiful day. Clear? Okay, so that's our wanted image. Okay, but yes, okay, if you pull your curtain and what you see is fog, or we can say, okay, more is going to, yes, okay, look like fog. Now, what is that fog going to do? Why is fog a nuisance?
Because it hinders your view.
It hinders your view. Or what does it do? It reduces your visibility, right? Yeah, okay. So what noise, my dear guys, is going to, yes, okay, look like as your image is foggy. That's the best way that I can explain it. So you see that your image is foggy. What does that mean? Noise. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now two things. Now did you guys look back on your, yes, okay, third grade math when they talked about ratios? Now I don't know when they cheat ratios here, but like, okay. Can somebody recall when you were taught ratios? No? Okay, that's fine. No problem there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, guys. Now, what a coincidence. The ratio of girls to boys in this batch here is the same ratio that we had when I was in 6th grade. So in 6th grade, yes, okay, we were 6 boys. No, sorry, Christian. Okay. You have to be dealing with a double number. But we were 6 boys and 18 girls. Clear? Okay. Now, if you want to write that as a ratio, you could mainly, yes, okay, say, but are you guys clear about, yes, okay, what noise is?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so please, guys, viewpoint is that, okay, it's going to be continuous. It's going to, yes, okay, be made as, okay, pollute the image, as, okay, reduce the visibility as we saw here. Okay, now please keep in mind that all this is going to be black and white. Okay, so of course, that's okay. There are going to be, as okay, areas in your whole image, or especially as okay, we all part concentration of the kidney. that you may not be able to say, okay, clearly, it's okay, I had to see the outline of the kidney or so and so, because it's mainly going to be polluted by small bright dots, which actually is okay, may just give you your image more or less, okay, it's like a foggy appearance. Yeah, okay. But okay, as to my 6th grade ratio. So what were we? There were 6 boys to 18 girls. So what would that mean? That for each boy, there were 3 girls. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
That becomes the ratio. Now, what we mainly could say is, okay, in terms of ratio here is, okay, when we do boys to girls. Sorry. You can mainly says, okay, this was going to be a low boys to girls ratio. Why? Mainly because, okay, this or this, or even if you go this to this, there was a lower number of boys and a greater number of girls. Even if you looked here and compare this to this, simplified and as okay, as for each boy, that's okay, the number of girls in the class was 3. But this is going to be as okay referred to as a low boy to girls ratio. Did you guys get that? Whereas, guys, if I flip it the other way around and say it's okay, what we do is say it's okay, girls to boys ratio. Now, since we had said, okay, that we had that there were, we can say it's okay, 18 girls to 6 boys, which means, okay, we just become a 3-to-1 ratio, right? That will mainly mean that we could say, it's okay, this will be a high ratio. Because we start with, okay, the greater number comparing it to the lesser number. Okay. Now, if you guys don't want, it's okay to talk about girls versus boys, you can go and say, well, okay, yes. What do we say? It's okay, apples versus oranges. The same. If you had a fruit basket in which you had 6 apples and 18 oranges, you may say for each orange or for each apple, for each apple in the basket, that was going to be as okay, 3 oranges. But you may still say it's okay that we have a low apple to oranges ratio. Or the other way around, that's okay, a grade orange to apples ratio. But the whole point of this ratio here is that, okay, if we said, okay, that we, for instance, okay, added three more oranges. So now we have, okay, as a total of, let's say, it's okay, 21 oranges. Now, I mean, yes, okay. So for every 3 oranges that we added, yes, okay, you'll add 1 more apple. So yes, okay, we start with 6 apples. That becomes 7. Did that make sense? So that's made as okay, how that's okay, you balance between the averages. That's why you brought it down to, yes, okay, the smallest form and say, okay, for each apple, this many oranges. So as long as you keep that ratio fixed, yes, okay. You may say, okay, we add 1 more apple, but trying to make sure that, okay, that average doesn't get disturbed, we had to add 3 oranges. If we just added 1 orange and 1 apple, yes, okay, then that average was going to get disturbed. Because in this case, we had a low apple to orange ratio. Where just the other way around would become a great or a high orange to apple ratio. Or, yes, okay, we talk about it, high girls to boy ratio. Did you guys get that? Okay. So guys, our deal, or what we can say is, okay, what is desired or ultrasound? Okay. Now what is going to be as okay, desire for ultrasound? And that's mainly as okay, where we see as okay, noise. And we can just do it this way. It's okay. Noise. But that noise, that's okay, has to be compared to something else. And we can say it's okay, that will be as okay, what we will call signal. Now, just to keep it, just okay, just to, yes, okay, be able to, just okay, differentiate between these two here. We can mainly say, okay, that in this ratio here, where we, okay, want to compare this, okay, the amount of signal versus noise. We can mainly say that, okay, signal that is wanted. Yeah, okay, whereas as we said earlier, noise was unwanted. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Right, okay. So what is it that we mainly as okay, or what kind of ratio is it that we want to have? What is going to be as okay? Desired for ultrasound is that we want a high signal to noise ratio, which mainly mean that, okay, as this high signal to noise ratio here mainly means that there's going to be more sound and less noise. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
Yeah, just to give it a number, we can say it's okay. We can say it's okay, 1,000. So let's say it's okay, 1. This is going to be as okay, an example of what we refer to as a high signal to noise ratio. But guys, if we just flip the terms, and for instance, okay, said noise to signal. And now me is okay, that comparison between these two here is okay, that's going to be a ratio. There, okay, yes. We still wanted to, yes, okay, have more signal and less noise. But since it's now written noise to signal ratio, well, okay, yes, what in this case is okay, will be desired is going to be a low noise to signal ratio. Because I mean, okay, less noise is produced and more signal. Did you guys get that? Although it's okay, were the same two factors, signals and noise. But if we flip the order, what previously was high is now going to be a low ratio between the two. Any questions?
No.
So yes, okay, that basket with fruit. If you have equal numbers of apples and oranges, what will you say then? If there's 10 apples and 10 oranges, you can mainly say, okay, for each apple there is an orange. Right? Yeah, okay. That will mainly mean that, okay, yes, the ratio here will be 1 to 1. Okay. So you add an orange, you had to add an apple. To me, that's okay, just maintain that ratio. Okay. But that 1 to 1 ratio, guys, that's going to be an equal ratio or an even ratio. Clear? Okay. But here is okay, we want one of the things to be more and the other to be less. What is it that we want more of? More signal. What is it that we want less of? Noise. Clear? Okay, so we say the more noise and the less signal, the more signal, and the less noise we produce, we have a higher signal to noise ratio. Did that make sense? Okay. So more signal, less noise. But it's okay when we say it's okay, noise to signal to noise ratio. That's going to be a high because this number here is more greater than this. And we mainly okay say that this setting here is what is desired. But you can say, yes, okay, document this as a low ratio, but then you have to say, okay, that's going to be a low noise to signal ratio. Which may mean that, okay, yes, comparing is okay, the noise to the amount of signal. Both of these mean the same. Did you guys get that?
Yes.
So this is desirable. Now, question or the $1 million question is, and that may yes, okay, also bring, how is this achieved? How do we achieve to, yes, okay, get a high signal to noise ratio? And guys, for now, just keep in mind, by increasing the power output, also known as transducers output, also known as, okay, as that long list of terms written on page 218 as the synonyms. Because what we actually okay, do by increasing the power output is that we actually okay, increase the, what eventually is okay, is going to be is okay, considered to become signal. Did you guys get that? The intensity of your transmitted beam. Okay. And that's why we mainly will see that, okay, we always keep that power output at 100%. Unless and until, yes, okay, indicated otherwise. Any questions?
No.
Now, guys, please, 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 these parts here are going to be brought up again later on in this chapter here. But are you guys understanding what a ratio means now? Okay. What our desired ratio was? High signal to noise ratio, which mean more signal, less noise. Clear? Okay. How is that ideally achieved? By increasing the power output. Did you guys get that? Good. So far, any questions about noise? Anybody want to say anything?
No.
Mike, how many birds do you have?
Are those that you hear?
Yeah.
Well, my dear, those are African greys. Well, it's my brothers, but they copy, yes, okay, everybody.
Huh.
So that screaming sound you hear, that's okay. They're copying my daughter.
How many are there? More than one?
Two. Well, then my nephew, he got 4 parakeets, we got 7. Yeah, okay. If you guys been around with me a year and a half ago, you could have come and seen my chickens and guinea kids or what they call them. But they got raccooned. Or beard, I don't know. I was okay, this close, yes, okay, spending a couple of nights awake with my to see what came by too, yes, okay. But now I go, are you crazy? That's okay. Okay, guys. So what's going to be, it's okay, one job of the pulsar beside that is, we can say it's okay, increase the power output. And by doing so, it's okay, reduce noise. That's pretty much okay. That's why they brought noise up here. Clear? Okay. So greater amount of energy is okay being transmitted by the what the hell we call that fellow? By the pulsar. Greater amount of energy is going to be transmitted by the transducer, which will become sound or signal. Clear? Okay. Those greater signals most likely as okay on the way back will produce stronger reflections, which will appear brighter on the screen. Yeah. Okay. Compared to weaker signals, which would have weaker reflections, which would appear darker, and so on. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, is there anybody who has any question about PRP and PRF and their relation to depth?
No.
Good. Any questions about PRP and relation to pulse average intensity? What was the pulse average? Or intensity pulse average? Oops. What was the intensity pulse average?
Can I guess?
You can guess. If your guess is correct, then okay, bingo.
Isn't it like 1,000 times greater?
Never mind, I'm reading the wrong thing. Ignore that.
What did I remind you of then?
Nothing, I'm just confused. Never mind.
I do mind. Yes, Jen.
I was double checking something on and I misread. Sorry.
Okay, so what were you reading? Your coefficients or something like that? What was the pulse average? Or intensity pulse average?
Isn't it the average intensity for the on time?
Of on time. What would be another name for on time?
Transmit time?
Okay. Or your pulse duration, right? Is that affected by your PRP? Or does that affect your PRP or pulse repetition period?
No,
No. What determines your pulse duration? You had this earlier.
oh, PZT thickness.
Things like that, okay? The transducer itself, right? Right, okay. Good. Okay. So using a transducer, can you change the pulse duration?
No,
No.
you have to change the transducer.
Then you have to change the transducer because no matter what your PRP is or is going to be or was, pulse duration will be constant, right? Good. What did we call the percentile ratio of pulse duration to PRP? What was that percentile ratio between pulse duration and PRP called?
The duty factor.
Duty factor. Guys, if you got thrown off by the term percentile, just mean pertaining to percentage. Yeah. So a percentage of your pulse duration of your pulse repetition period that was made up of your pulse duration, that was what we call the duty factor. AKK. Well, how do we adjust the PRP?
Adjust depth.
Okay, by adjusting the depth. And increasing depth, increase PRP, decreasing depth, decrease PRP. Okay. But those signals just okay go to the pulse. It's okay, guys. Now in the previous chapter, we talked about beam. Remember that? What was the beam? Ultimately, as okay, this here is okay, was our transducer. We can mainly say that okay, yes, For instance, this here is okay, will become more beam, right? Clear? Right?
Yes.
All right, now we made this, okay, see, okay, it's, in this instance, here, it's okay, we can see, or like here, it's okay, it's, the beam was steered straight ahead. Yeah, okay, well, that's okay. You could also, it's okay, have the beam, it's okay, beam. You can say it's okay, steered this way. And or the beam being steered this way here, right? Okay. I know this is not a Mona Lisa. Okay. So how is that going to be controlled? By the beamer, or what we also call the beam former. Not only that, but even as okay, the focal depths. Clear? Okay. Which okay could be chosen as one, or could be set at multiple depths. Clear? Okay. So in all this is okay, what actually is okay will form the beam. So beam is formed by the beamer, also known as beam former. So all that phase delay, if you guys recall that, you recall that? That was mainly as okay, those signals as they as okay came from the pulsar through the beam or beamer or beamformer. That was going to now be the job of the beamformer to play around with those. Okay, and what did that phase delay lead to? That determines, yes, okay, the focal depths. Yeah, okay. Because ultimately, yes, okay, what we will see is, okay, let's do it this way, guys. We say this here is okay, is your beamformer or beamer. Okay, well, okay, yes. It received, yes, okay, the signals from the pulse. Was okay, it's ultimately it's okay going to send those signals out to the transducer. And what we mean said that we had in the transducers were most likely multiple PCTs. Yeah, okay. So all determined upon as okay whether you could say as okay that our beam was steered in this direction here. That means yes, okay, was because this PCT was first to fire, this was last. Did that make sense? Although yes, okay, all these electrical signals, yes, okay, that's going to yes, okay, stimulate yes, okay, components in the beam or beamer came from the pulsar, which came from your main yes, okay, electrical socket or source. Clear? Okay. But here it's going to mean says, okay, this part of the beam, I mean, yes, okay, will send the signal out first, which hits this PCT, and so on, so that, or that's okay if we went the other way around and say that this was the First to get stimulated, this was going to be the last, and okay, yes, our beam would have been steering in this direction. And likewise, okay, if they somehow, yes, okay, fired simultaneously, it's okay, the beam would have been steered straight. On top of that was also going to be, it's okay, the phase delay. That interval between, it's okay, the signals being sent out. Okay, would determine whether we had a shallow focal depth or whether we had a great focal depth, at which is okay, these beams here were focused at as they went from side to side, were steered. Not only that, but mainly as okay, to ensure that okay, yes, throughout the center, no matter yes, okay, which direction in which the beam was being steered, at a maximum intensity. Where that intensity means okay, that we're going to get lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser as we went from the center towards just okay, the periphery of the beam. Whether the beam was steered in this direction, straight ahead, or this direction, as it is okay, was moving around. And that phenomena was what I mean is okay, what we called apodization. That primarily is okay, reduced the production of loops. Yeah, okay. So all our features related to the beam. In the system, where was that controlled? Where was that controlled at? At the beamer, of what we call the beamformer. Did you guys get that? Okay. Now, the modern type of beamers are mainly going to be okay, what they call digital beamers. We just modernize it and it's okay, become digital. Yeah, okay. And the benefit about digital is that okay, yes, the programming can always be updated. Like your phone, from time to time, you may get notification that it's time to update your software program, right? Yeah, okay. As far as okay, the build of the phone is concerned, that's not going to be changed, but they just updated the software program of your system. So you may install as okay, a new app or something onto your beamer, which is then going to be able to just okay, do a little bit more as okay, hocus pocus. That's the benefit of okay, as a digitalized beamer or beamformer. Any questions? All that phase delay, spike of the curve and things like that, which determine yes, okay, the focusing of your beam, the steering of the beam was controlled by the beamer or beamformer. and also it's okay your apodization. What was apodization? That you mean it says okay that the center or the central PCTs get stronger signal, and the signal means okay just weakens from PCT to PCT to PCT as you go from the center towards the periphery, which mainly called okay, the center core of the beam has a maximum signal, no matter as okay in which direction it was being steering. So that apodization was controlled by your beamer. Any questions?
No questions.
No questions?
No.
Why do you guys not produce any noise?
I produce noise all day, Mike.
Yeah, but somebody needs to buzz as well. Maybe you can buzz about something else. But ultrasound physics, go ahead. I don't mind. Somebody want to buzz about something else?
Are you gonna watch the Super Bowl?
What's the Super Bowl? No, there was an incident a couple of years ago, and after that, I better keep my mouth shut.
Well, now you have to tell us. You can't start a story like that and then end it.
Well, okay, I ended it before saying anything. Some of you guys may say, okay, Mike, it took us a lot of okay psychotherapy sessions to just okay get that washed off our memory. Some of you might not even have been born then, but anyways, BS okay charge rules. Now, guys, Super Bowl guys, okay, what game is it for?
Football?
No, guys, before we proceed, any questions?
No.
Nope. So far you guys feel comfortable?
So far, so good.
Confident?
Yep.
Okay. Good. So let's talk about our next component in this whole thing here. And just so you guys have this a little idea, we can say, okay, this here is the system, that big jukebox that we have, right? Okay. From this, are we going to say, oh, yes, okay. A wire. That goes to our transducer. We said that we had a pulsar, followed by a beamer, After which, yes, okay, there was going to be, yes, okay, what we call the switch. I mean, you can say it's okay. This was during transmission. Yeah, okay. Where we mainly can say, okay, during transmission, just to have something. We can say, okay, during transmission. What did we have? We can say, okay, high intensity signals. Now, what we said today at the beginning of our class that occurs, these high intensity signals are going to okay, tick, 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 hit boundaries, and at each boundary, okay, are going to produce a reflection. That means this okay goes to the switch. Okay. So let's go okay, during reflection, or we now as of we call as okay, reception, if you want to put it that way. What was it that we were going to have? Relatively low intensity signals. Afterward, yes, okay, after yes, okay, which these signals here mean, yes, okay, I'm going to go from switch to, yes, okay, our next component, which would be receiver. So guys, in all this, what was the purpose of the switch? Mainly was to ensure that strong signals that came from a pulsar via the beamer to the switch didn't directly go from the pulsar and beamer, yes, okay, to the receiver. Okay, mainly as okay, prevent this. And likewise, that okay, as these weak signals that okay, as came back from your receiver or from the transducer didn't get up here. Okay, but primarily because what we want to do is, or what is want to, yes, okay, to be achieved is that these strong signals here is okay, doesn't reach the receiver because the receiver is to receive low intensity signals. That comes back from the reflections, which relativity is okay, or is related to the signals being sent out are weaker or are of a less intensity. Okay, what the receiver will be doing with those low intensity signals That's something that we'll start talking about tomorrow, and that's going to be okay our function of the receiver. Okay. So mainly as okay, we can say it's okay to protect the receiver from the strong signals that were produced by its okay pulsar, likewise beamer, from reaching to the receiver, because the receiver mainly as okay was pretty much okay designed as an electronic component to primarily handle weaker signals. Okay, so what is it that we have here in your switch? There's going to be a fluctuation between strong signals and weak signals. Did that make sense? So its job is mainly to channel those strong signals to the transducer and not to the receiver. Okay, R2 is regulate those fluctuations. Now, just two examples, guys. Have you ever experienced when it's a very strong wind out there that all of a sudden, yes, okay, your lights may start flickering?
Yeah.
Good. What do you call that, my dear? Or what causes that? That's just as fluctuation in the electrical signals or electrical energy that as your gadgets of your household is receiving, right? Okay, dear. Now let me ask you, what happens if that fluctuation becomes too much? What are the two things that can happen?
The lights could go out completely
Hmm.
or they stay on.
Okay, if they stay on in spite of that fluctuation, the next thing that you may do is will bye-bye to your gadgets, because they may go up in yes, my dear. They may go up in
Flames?
smoke. Yeah, okay. So that's why it's okay. Ideally, it's okay. Your lights should go off. Okay. But how will you bring those lights back? What causes the lights to go off?
A lack of electrical energy?
No, you actually have a gadget in your house that's going to. I don't know why you guys call it here. It's okay. Back home, we used to call it a circuit breaker. But then you may just go down and flip the button or switch up, and the next thing you know, that's okay. Light is back. Okay. Had it not been for that circuit breaker, what would have happened? That fluctuation would have continued, and at some point as I said, your gadgets go up in smoke. Okay, well, that's your refrigerator, your deep freezer, your microwave, your whatsoever, plasma screen hanging on the wall, air conditioning, whatever. Any gadget that is on will go up in smoke. Why? Because of that fluctuation. But your circuit breaker, protects it, right? So we can mainly say as okay, the circuit breaker of your system is going to be the switch. But here as okay, it's not going to turn off your system every time you start scanning, but mainly as okay, just ensuring that components which are designed to receive low intensity signals doesn't get exposed to those doesn't get exposed to high intensity signals, primarily coming from your pulsar and your beamer and so on. So did that make sense? Or guys, anybody traveled overseas? Good. Now I may get a little bit less, okay, electric. What is the voltage here in the United States?
No idea.
No idea. So you just buy gadgets not knowing whether they will be runnable or not?
Yeah.
Okay. 110. Now, have any of you ever traveled to Europe?
Yes.
Good. So did you take your phone with you?
Ben.
Good. Okay. Did you just directly plug it in over there?
No.
Why?
You need a different
Okay. Even if the socket mod is the same. Okay, good. But why? That's another reason why. Oops. You didn't do that? I guess most countries in Europe, not just Europe, even in Asia, I know that much, they run on volt 220. So yes, okay, if you just plugged your phone directly into that, the amount of electricity that will come to your phone is going to be twice of what it is designed for. Now, what's the next thing that's going to happen then? Yes, Dr. O'Brien, what would happen then?
I would start smoking.
Smoking what? Weed?
Yeah. Your phone would start smoking.
Boom, right?
Explode.
Yeah, okay. Not explode like a suicide bomb, but like, okay. But yes, okay, the next thing you will try just, okay, let me just call home and say that I'm okay. Or I reached there, yes, okay, and okay, yes. And you won't be able to make a call. Why? Because it's okay, Mobilos is gone up in smoke. Or it's okay, you mean it's okay, just, yes, okay, burn the electronic transmitter, chips, whatever you want to call them. Did that make sense? So that's why it's okay, you use an adapter, but what is that adapter going to say? Well, okay, well, I received 220 watts, but I'm just going to send 110. Likewise, okay, people coming from Europe, bringing their phones and so on, so on, so, or whatever gadgets, they have to just have a similar or opposite, what they call as okay, adapter. From 110 to 220. Okay. But your switch in the system mainly as okay, protect the low voltage components from receiving a high voltage signal. Because that was going to Okay. But that means, yes, okay, what happens when there is a strong wind? That fluctuation is so high. And that's where you have, yes, okay, circuit breakers, as we call it. Okay. It may go off, yes, okay, just because of your circuit breaker means, okay, just break the circuit, okay, luckily, or they may turn it off from the main grid. Did that make sense? And that's when you have, okay, as an overall blackout in the area. Did you guys get that? Now, please, 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 there's a diagram in your book, 14.5. You see that one? Do you see that one? Good. So please mark this diagram here, right? Okay. And just why? Well, okay, guys. Always, okay, it's not colored like this in the book. But we can say, what would this be? The pulsar. This will be, okay, well, your beamers. You can say that, okay, as this here is your switch. To your switch, or yes, okay, from your switch, or to your switch. Do we have, yes, okay, signals that go to the transducer? Let's just do this way. This is transmitted signals. You can see it's okay. These would be as okay received signals. Ultimately, as okay go to the receiver. Did you guys get that?
Yeah.
Okay. And what your receiver is designed to is primarily to receive the reflections. Okay. Now, what you guys should know from chapter 6 is that intensity of incidence or transmitted wave is always going to be greater than the intensity of the received wave or reflection. Clear? Okay. You can't have a transmitted sound wave with an intensity of 10 watts per centimeter square, and the reflection being, yes, okay, 20 watts per centimeter square. Did that make sense? Okay. But, as we said, it's only as okay a very, 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 very short, small proportion of your transmitted wave that is going to be reflected back. But we mainly will say, okay, had it not been for us, okay, some of the functions of our receiver, okay, that we actually is okay, will be able to is okay adjust the signals from the reflections that had been so weak that it would not have produced any image. And if that was the case, then okay, then there was no point of okay as running an ultrasound. Did you guys get that? Okay. But this is mainly as okay, we can say as okay, our major as okay chunk of this chapter here is going to be as okay about our functions of the receiver. Here, okay. Where do we, yes, okay. Some of these functions we can control, some we can't. And where do we see is okay, the function buttons, knobs, etc., etc. I practically show you those functions the other day on our system. But it's okay, the physics part is okay, we'll be talking about tomorrow. And maybe even the day after tomorrow, who knows. But that's the major part of this chapter here. Any questions? Oh, guys, okay, today oh shit, I didn't know that we were going to get this far. Maybe we should take the midterm earlier so that Teresa can get her chance to watch the ads. And you know, you can go on YouTube, on Yahoo, and watch the ads right now. They're there. Yep, they're already out. So you know it's okay where to buy a good car, if that's the case. A new car. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. Okay, guys. Any questions about the previous chapters? Any point, any topic? Any PCT which is still not clear? Any mode? Any conversion?
No, I just think that like when you ask us like questions, like you did it a lot today, but like
Yeah.
referring back to past chapters and like what's related to what in that sense, I think that's probably the hardest part because at this point there's like a gazillion relationships, whether there actually are or they're under different names, and there's so many names, and then you have to tie it to the different relationships, whether they're related, inverse, not related. I feel like
Mhm.
that's the part that's like, whoa.
Maybe throwing you off a little bit.
Yeah. Like the questions from yesterday, or that we did yesterday from chapter 13, I feel like a lot of it was relating back to like past chapters, and like I don't have
Pretty
specific,
much chapter 7 or 4, right?
yeah, I just feel
Yeah.
like that part was a little bit hard for me, but
Mhm.
no specific questions at this time. I just need to go back and focus in.
Okay, another thing is, well, okay, you can say once you are able to establish the link between yes, okay, new material that we just did to old material. If you understand that old material good, it's relatively easier to yes, okay, just put that old info into yes, okay, the new clues and okay, look at it as a new thing. Because it's pretty much the same. And guys, that's why I kept on saying it's okay, please make sure that you got this much stuff here. Because it's going to be brought up again and again and again and again. So actually, that's okay, may not be that much of new information. Just okay goes under a different name now. That's pretty much it. So just to remember that okay, yes, so and so can also go under this name. Or something that's okay, that similar relationship is going to still be as okay applicable. Okay. So it's still as okay, just your period and frequency, for instance. Or time versus frequency.
Yeah, I feel like 1 through 8 and then this chapter are all like related, and then 9 through 13 are kind of wonky a little.
Well, it's okay. Chapter 7, chapter 6, if you didn't get this, okay, yes, a lot of things in this chapter here well, okay, now makes sense. So to understand chapter 14, that's okay, the chapter we currently are doing is to understand your chapter 6.
Right. Yeah. No, I was talking more about chapters like 9 through 13.
Okay.
I think those are.
But 9 through 13, my dear, okay, what do we have? 9 is your sound beam. We can make this okay, that's the foundation for that's okay, understanding your lateral resolution, understanding things such as focusing, focal point, near zone, far zone, things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
And have a little bit more solid grasp on it's okay, your beam related yes, okay, resolutions.
Right.
Height versus width and width versus height and diameter and so on. So so how many gigas in a kilo? Yes, guys, how many gigas in a kilo?
$1 million.
1 million or 1/1,000,000?
1/1,000,000.
1/1,000,000. Because you went from big to fine is worth in a smaller unit, right? Okay. Good. Okay. In B as in boy mode, what is displayed along the y-axis? in B as in boy mode or brightness mode, what is displayed along the y-axis?
Is it time?
B mode. Okay, do we have time in B mode? Do we have time in B mode?
No.
No. Good. Do we have a y-axis in B mode?
Also no.
No. Okay, so what would the answer be there then?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's not every question that I ask that has to have a question, right? Okay. Can't be determined or something like that, right? Okay. Okay, guys. So what are the axes of B mode?
X and Z.
X and Z. Okay. Now what is along the Z as in zebra axis?
Amplitude.
Amplitude, which also can become your
Power and intensity.
but in B mode, my dear, becomes brightness. So stronger amplitude of the reflection, more bright. Weaker amplitude of your reflection, less bright. Did that make sense? Okay. Yes, of course, but you can say as okay, a reflection with a greater power will have a greater intensity, will produce a brighter spark on your screen and appear brighter. And the other way around. Somewhere with a lower amplitude will have less power, will have less intensity, will appear less bright. And the lesser and lesser and lesser bright, just okay, it appears, the darker and darker and darker is going to appear. Good. What is the shape of your elements in a conventional transducer? Shape of the elements in a conventional transducer.
Round.
Round. It's what did you mean by a conventional transducer?
Mechanical.
Mechanical. Okay. Why did we say it? Why did you call it conventional? Because it has mechanical focusing or fixed focusing. Okay. Good. How is beam diversion related to the frequency of a transducer? Diversion of the beam, how is that related to the frequency of your transducer? How is the diversion of the beam related to the frequency of your transducer?
Unrelated.
No, they are related.
Inversely.
Inversely. So higher frequency transducer will have lesser divergence of the beam. While high frequency transducer will, or low frequency transducer will have greater divergence of the beam. And that greater divergence of the beam is going to lead to what? What's going to be the result of a greater divergence of the beam? It has
Or-
something. Yes, dear.
Or axial resolution?
Not axial, my dear.
Okay, lateral.
Lateral resolution. Yeah, okay. Lateral resolution. Two transducers with respectively, yes, okay, 5 and 8 cycles per pulse, which has less ringing. Two transducers with respectively 4 and 8 cycles per pulse. Which of these transducer has less ringing?
Is it 4?
4. Okay, because what was it that less ringing? Okay, ringing was about number of cycles. Yeah, okay. And the more times, that's okay, you let the phone ring. It runs your ring chime or ringtones this many times. And somebody, without looking at the book, without looking at their notes, tell me what are the consequences of not having a backing material.
You said no backing material?
Yes, my dear.
Isn't it there's oh shit. It's like it dampens the noise or it increases the noise?
Okay, what are the consequences of not having backing material?
Is it low sensitivity,
Okay,
low Q factor, and narrow bandwidth? Am I wrong?
no, my dear. Only one out of those were correct.
You have no backing material, then you have a high Q factor, a high and a narrow bandwidth, and a high. I said sensitivity. I can't. What is it?
High sensitivity. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And what would that kind of transducer be called then?
Isn't that continuous?
Continuous view, right? Okay. Did that make sense? So that would be a continuous wave transducer. That is okay. X-shaped transducer that I show you guys. Yes, okay, the other day. Remember that transducer that looked like a ginger man or gingerbread man? That was a continuous wave transducer. And somebody, yes, okay, rapidly give me the synonyms for your exit resolution. Rapidly.
Longitudinal,
Axial.
Longitudinal,
Range, radial, axial, longitudinal. There's a D in there.
range, radial, and dash C diving.
Depth.
Depth. It, what's the unit for your elevation resolution?
What's the what?
What's the unit for your elevation resolution?
Isn't it distance?
Distance. Any
Centimeter
unit
per
of
meter.
distance, exactly. Okay, good. Good. The greater the A, yes, okay, numerical value. Leads to dash resolution.
Or resolution.
Poor resolution. Okay. How is your sector size related to your temporal resolution? Well, let me put it this way. Let me make it easier. A greater sector size is going to have dash temporal resolution. The greater your sector size, the dash your temporal resolution.
The worse your temporal
Or
resolution.
poor, right? Okay, or bad one. Okay. Okay. Or degraded, whichever term. Okay. Okay. What are the components of the channel of ESPN? What are the components of a channel? Nickelodeon, picks Fox News, CNN, BBC, Bravo, E, OMG. What are the components of a channel?
Television shows?
No, are we talking Grey's Anatomy here? No, guys, my dear, listen. Electrical source, wire, and PCT.
To be fair, we always can talk Grey's Anatomy.
Now, okay, I don't intend to spend 6.5 months trying to just, okay, watch 23 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
You're missing out.
Okay, I'm good. Because, okay, I once had a badge where, okay, most, that's okay. Okay, not most. There were only 4 girls in that. But anyways. But they were watching it, and okay, every morning now, afternoon, you should watch this episode or that episode. So some of them also were trying to follow up. Yeah. So they were into it. But then they went and said, okay, yes, Mike, now you talked about this, and you know that they talked about it. It's okay, it was on an episode or an Grey's Anatomy. It's okay. Okay. Oh, yes, okay, guys. Channel, right? Okay. Source. What are our source now? Well, okay, you can say the pulsar, the beamer. Was the wire mainly as okay, just that electrical wire that carried that electrical signal. And then we had the PCT, right? Yeah, okay. That whole thing, yes, okay, makes a channel. What do we mean by rarefaction? What did we mean by rarefaction?
Spread apart.
What's the part, my dear?
Spread apart.
Okay. What is spread apart?
Particles.
Particles. Okay, good. Good. What would be the intensity of the sound at that point of time?
Low.
Low. Not just sound, anyways, okay, anything, okay. That would be low. So if a particle is in compression, or if 2 particles were in compression, and at the same time 2 particles were in rarefaction, what would that be? We have 2 particles which were rarefied. We had 2 particles which were compressed. What kind of phenomena would that be? Anybody? No idea? Just look at the question. 2 particles are compressed. And at the same time, it's okay, 2 particles are rarefied. What would that be? Maybe it's a drama question. No problem, guys. Two particles compressed. At the same time, two particles rarefied. What would that be? Here's your answer. Our face. One set was compressed, one was rarefied. So what did we have? We had two sound waves, right? But one was in compression, one was in rarefied. That's okay. One is going to be as okay maximum or minimum. Or lesser and greatest amplitude, right? Well, so that would be outphased. That's fine. Two media with different speeds. Will lead to what? If we have a normal incidence. If we have two,
Transmission.
huh?
Transmission.
Transmission. Okay. Yeah. Will we have a reflection?
No.
Not necessarily, right? What do we need for a reflection to occur?
Different impedances.
Good. 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 So what if we had different impedances and oblique incidence? What can we say then? For sure.
That it'll reflect at the same angle as the,
That we will have a reflection.
yeah.
Clear? Okay. Okay, guys. So I guess I see you guys tomorrow at what time? Hopefully 9. Okay, 9 o'clock in the morning. Now, please, that's okay. Try to read on the materials that we did today. Okay, please make sure that okay, as you have a good concept of okay what the sound wave undergoes as it travels in the medium. Yeah, okay. And for tomorrow as well, it's okay, have a good solid grip on it's okay what ratios means. Okay, so that will be it's okay one of the first one of the primary points that we will start talking with. Okay, guys.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow, guys. Have fun.
See ya.
Bye.
Okay, bye, dear.